Hello and welcome to the Phoenix Police 5-0 Info Show. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, with the Phoenix Police Public Affairs Bureau, coming to you once again from Phoenix Police Headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix. And I'm joined once again today by the president of the Phoenix Police Foundation, Tim Thomas. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Vince.
Yes. So we are in an interesting time where we have this close relationship with the Phoenix Police Foundation, but you've been involved with us for quite a while. So the Phoenix Police Foundation exists. It's a nonprofit, 501c3. It's a foundation. It has a board, but it exists to benefit the Phoenix Police Foundation and the Phoenix Police Department and the families. We're all one big family, but we're the only ones that benefit from all of the work that the foundation puts in. And you exist most of the time for unmet capital needs. But I'm going to let you explain the foundation, your role, and then we'll get into some of the events and things like that. And of course, we'll talk about current events. But yeah. Tim, tell us about the foundation.
Thank you. So we really have three components. Fund, honor, and assist are really our pillars. So the fund side is, as you mentioned, unmet capital needs. So we're there to help fill gaps, purchase stuff that might not be in the budget. You know, everything from building the PD branded ice cream truck to tactical gear for our SWAT team, youth programming, things that just really need additional assistance. On the honor side, it's really recognition. So last Friday, we had our 7th annual Women in Blue to recognize the amazing work that women in the department are doing. October 3rd, we have our Pride in Our Heroes, which is a larger department-wide award ceremony that you all run, but we fund it. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is the assist side, which is the one we wish we really didn't have to do, and that's when bad stuff happens. And we were reminded last week that evil does exist in this world, and unfortunately we lost a stellar officer.
Yeah, Officer Zane Coolidge.
Officer Zane Coolidge.
Yeah, family man, new officer. It seems like he was less than 6 degrees of separation away from everybody. Everybody just has a story about either training him or getting to know him, getting to know his family and so forth, so he will be dearly missed. So the fund portion of it, anything from, like you mentioned, a hand in the ice cream truck to canine vests, right?
Correct.
Ballistic vests for the canine dogs. Because we are a government entity and we work for the city, and we're very grateful for the help that we get from the city funding and so forth, but we are tied to a calendar. And most of the time that money has been promised early on, but as technology increases and improves, our tactical teams will come across new tools, new equipment to keep them safe. And we are on the cutting edge of not only training, but safe tactics and trying to keep the community safe and for them to do their job. What are some of the more noteworthy pieces of equipment that the foundation has had a hand in giving to the department, either the tactical team or the department?
Sure. And one of the things I'd like to mention, budgets are limited. We get that. So one of the things we found is sometimes we can help fund something that might be new. And once it shows its value, it's easier to justify it because you can say this saved this many hours in hours of staffing. Mm-hmm. And so one example of that we're trying, we recently purchased 18 total DigiScan mobile fingerprint readers.
Right,
so
yeah.
These go out to the field and they allow the officers to fingerprint somebody in the field versus having to put them in the car, take them back to the precinct. That can save them an hour of time.
Oh, I remember having to do that. And then you get the ink all over them, you get the ink all over you and things. But yeah, it took some time to, if somebody wasn't, it was less than truthful, maybe they're trying to hide their warrants or trying to hide their involvement in something, you had to identify them. And we could always, most of us could tell in our gut when we're getting misled, but having these DigiScanners available, it's a one-touch DigiScanner. An officer can compare the print of the actual person to a database and pretty much find out who they are and then take the conversation in a different direction. So
yeah,
that's an incredible tool now that we have. Honor is the second bullet point of fund, honor, and assist. And we're talking with the president of the Phoenix Police Foundation, Tim Thomas, the honor portion of it. Unfortunately, this time we are coming up on the services for a fallen officer. What's the foundation's role once you get the call that we are close to or losing an officer, or we've lost an officer, or somebody's been injured in the line of duty? What's the foundation's role? When do you step in and how fast do you hit the ground running?
Well, our role is we're here to support. We're here to be there for that family. And so when we have a line of duty death, people sometimes struggle on how they can help. And most of the time it ends up being a monetary donation. And I've framed this, and I've said this before, but I view it as every dollar that's donated to the family is a hug from the community. And that's, I think, how they feel about it as well. So when these things happen, we're right there in the mix with the department, understanding what's going on and being available to accept those donations, knowing that 100% of that is going to get to the family. And these things happen very quickly. So being there on the front end is super important.
So I know that there's other larger organizations that have a statewide footprint, or maybe even a nationwide audience that they support. The difference between the Phoenix Police Foundation and those other agencies, which are great, and they exist for that assist. The difference between them and the Phoenix Police Foundation is that we benefit directly, and everything that you raise, just like you said, goes directly to the identified family.
That's right. And in some ways, it's easier for us because we are singularly focused on the Phoenix Police Department. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to manage other buckets, other levers. Singular focused, 100% to the family.
Yeah, we get a lot of people, not only from the community, but businesses and corporations, organizations will want to give monetarily to the police department. You can't hand a Phoenix police officer a stack of cash. You can't hand a Phoenix police officer a check. We don't accept cash donations. That's not how we do business. But the foundation has stepped in several circumstances. We've had corporations local corporations that we've invited you, the foundation, in to take that on our behalf. And then there's a grant process, right? That if we need that money, an officer can basically apply for a grant from that fund?
Correct. Almost everything we fund outside of a line of duty, that's just very direct. We don't need paperwork for that. We understand what had happened. But we don't want to fund things that may not be of value to the department. It's not upon us. So our partnership is you ask us, you tell us what you need, and then we try to accommodate it. So like the Digi scanners, we received a grant request for that, which allows us to go out and look for funds to pay for that if we don't already have them. We also recently funded a lot of life preservation stuff for the canine unit. So under door cameras, things that allow the officers to see what's behind that door, that provides an additional barrier, additional information before they open that door. Right. Yeah. And, we did have a dog, I think about 2 years ago that was shot. And if they would have had that in play, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Hard to say, but, that came through a grant request too. And on the flip side, we're out asking money from organizations to help fund these certain things. So that was all funded through a private family foundation that's very focused on canine activities. So it kind of goes both ways. We ask you to do a grant, and then we have to go out and, and we don't have a free money machine a money tree in the backyard. So, there's a lot of work that goes into this and a lot of asking our partners to assist. So everything that we do, we're in the middle of it, but it's supported by donors and people that support the department and the employees.
Yeah, perfect. So the assist portion of the Phoenix Police, the Phoenix Police Foundation, we rely on you, the Public Affairs Bureau. We rely on the foundation to help us out with the annual awards ceremony, Pride in Our Heroes, which is available online. It will be the new one coming up in October of 2024 will be streamed. So, or at least the plan is that will be streamed. So we're going to make that available too. But the Phoenix is brought to you by the Phoenix Police Foundation. And we just celebrated the annual Women in Blue luncheon, which was incredible. I was there. I got to see it. I got to participate in helping retired Sergeant Tommy Thompson with the live auction when I was a spotter for him, and that's always a great time.
That's awesome.
But we honored 3 very special individual employees for that. Tell us a little bit about the Women in Blue luncheon.
So like I mentioned, this was our 7th one. So, and they keep getting bigger and better. So we're excited about that. So this year we had 3 awardees. Our categories were the Thelda Williams Up and Comer Award.
And that's just been dedicated recently to
correct.
The late Thelda Williams.
We renamed that to add Thelma because of her service and how she was, everything she did for the city and how she mentored people. So it just fits beautifully to give her that tribute of the Thelda Williams Up and Comer Award. And then we have an Elevating Women in Law Enforcement, and then an Act of Valor. So the Act of Valor this year, Morgan Bullis, she was involved in an officer-involved shooting last April of 23, and her training kicked in. She survived, but she took a bullet.
She was ambushed.
She was ambushed, yeah.
In her car, responding to what she thought was going to be a wreck, a vehicle accident, and
correct. And but her training, she backed out of there, got out of harm's way as quickly as she could, and she's a rock star. I mean, she is a solid officer, and I was so impressed with her during the process.
Yeah, she's in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, and she's putting out more information over the radio about who we're looking for. And yeah, it's an incredible story. We've told it time and again, but thank you to the foundation for helping recognize her with that the Act of Valor Award. And then you also mentioned an Excellence Award.
Yeah, the Elevating Women in Law Enforcement. So Sergeant Shannon Warrior, another rock star. She's always there to help, whether you're a female or a male, but one of the things we recognized her for is she developed a tactical training program specifically designed for women. And there's no argument. Men and women are built differently. So the tactics that might work for a man may not work for a woman, but she developed stuff that works very well for a female. So she does a lot. She's very unselfish in how she goes about it, and she's very creative, and it was really fun to work with her as well.
Good. So both on your social and on ours, we covered the Women in Blue luncheon. So that was terrific. Thank you for bringing your expertise and experience in the foundation to help honor our employees. One of the hardest things I think it is for police officers to do is to stand up and be recognized. None of us signed on to do this for the glory, and so a lot of what we do here at the Public Affairs Bureau is to try to bring those officers out into the spotlight, and then we do that again every year at the annual awards ceremony, so that's coming up. So going forward, how can someone get involved with the Phoenix Police Foundation?
So we have opportunities for people to get involved. If you want to volunteer, please go to our websites, complete the contact form, let us know that you're interested. But I would say our next major event is a great place to get involved, and that's going to be our 5th annual Honor Run. And this year we're moving it downtown because we are starting a project. This really isn't out there yet, so I'm kind of giving you a little
sneak preview. You heard it here first.
But we are starting a campaign that will build a memorial wall in the new headquarters, and it's going to be spectacular. And last week we were reminded of the importance of this. So we're going to hold the Honor Run downtown going forward. The wall won't be done by this year, but we'll have some stuff to get people excited, and we're going to pay tribute to the 45 officers that are going to be on that one.
And that'll be available for public view in the lobby at the new police headquarters when we move in. So I want to thank President Tim Thomas of the Phoenix Police Foundation for joining us again on the show. Check that out on our social. Can you plug the website?
Yeah, please. And there's still opportunities to support Zane and his family at the phoenixpolicefoundation.org. So we're going to keep that up for a while, but please, if you haven't already donated, we've received so much incredible output. And I also want to say thank you to Pleat Charities. They did just a bang up job at that barbecue to support the family.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks again, Tim, for joining us. I want to thank the crew for producing. Thank you, the viewer and listener, for attending us. Join us on all social media to find out more about our efforts and the efforts of the foundation. I'd also like to remind you that you too can help solve crime in your community by sending tips to Silent Witness, potentially earn a cash reward. Call 480-WITNESS or visit silentwitness.org. Again, join us on social. We are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. And remember, we're all in this together.